passing.
He's got a sort of a medium ace. He could either be very far ahead or very far behind.
Fold.
Pass.
And for the 300 more, Clay gives it up. John is playing the battering ram here. John Shaw from Scotland. And Simon, I guess, that's pretty much what John has to do to win this. Just keep the screws turning. It's a bubble here, a tournament bubble. The next player out gets nada, same as sixth. But second place, of course, going to that semifinal. And the winner, straight to the final table. Is it all John Shaw? Well, we'll find out.
All in.
Yep.
Wow. King 8 and Michael Clark saying he's willing to commit it all. That was a strong move. That's the first time we've seen him do that.
Button on John, our chip leader. Doesn't need much to raise against these two small stacks.
Raise.
There's a simple beauty in this game, and that word raise
600.
strikes fear in the hearts of the short stacks. Oh boy.
Well, strategically Michael should pass here because he knows that Clay's short stacked, and if he finds something he might put it in, and he knows that he's then got a shot of heads up. That's correct play.
10 and Jack of Hearts sure is pretty looking, but when there's 100,000 pounds on stake, you're thinking about something else. And
oh, come on, Clay. Poor Clay. He's just not finding anything. He has just hung on and hung on and hung on, hasn't he, Jesse? Deserves really to at least have a shot.
Pass.
Pass.
I tell you what, he's being tested, They sent Lot into the city 3 times and said, don't turn your back. Poor Clay has been tested severely here.
Yeah, three-handed. We've lost half the field. The average stack obviously doubled to 4,000. John's pretty much got all of them with 9,525. Michael's hanging in second position with 1,825, but Clay, who's taking the small blind in this hand, is down to 650. It surely has to be this hand or the next hand on the button. One of those two. Which is it going to be?
Clay's only got 650, and 100 pounds of that is in the pot. He's got a queen. Little lady make you feel lucky.
Obviously, if he calls, John's more likely to raise, so it has to be all in or pass. Then pass is the words that keep coming out of Clay's mouth, unfortunately. On the button, Jesse, I wouldn't even look at this stage. He has 550. The blinds are 100, 200. And if he does not put all his chips in right now on this button, he is going to be putting in nearly half his stack on the big blind.
Swallow your saliva and gulp. That's the advice for Clay Knight here. Will he push?
All in.
Yes.
All in. 550.
And Simon, he must have taken your advice because a 7 high, not the strongest hand in Hold'em. Can he get it through? It's 350 more on Michael Clark.
Call.
Who's called with a queen. Queen's good right now.
Clay is all in, being called by
Did
Michael.
Clay wait too long?
Please.
He's all
Clay
in
shows
now.
7,
He's standing
6,
up.
and
A
Michael's
7
queen
or
3.
6
Let's
would
see the
get
flop.
Clay out of this spot and back in the tournament.
Oh, wow.
7, 9,
Timing is
7.
everything,
Clay
Jesse.
blocks a set of 7s. Turn card.
Well, they say good things come to those who wait.
Can change this.
And Clay,
Clay doubles up.
he's been on the coal for 3 years now, but finally, a lump of chocolate in the stocking. Back in business. And that is really even things out between Clay and Michael.
Well, if Clay had a strategy It's worked out perfectly because he's probably worked out that when he shoved all his chips in, if he got caught by Michael, he would end up virtually joint in chips with Michael.
Clay from Plymouth moves up to second place, just ahead of Michael from Aylesbury. But John from Dunfermline is way clear with 95-25. Michael Clark on the button. Knobbly need. He's a bridge communications director, and that's not on the Starship.
All in.
All in.
There's the difference, you see. Michael picks up a queen on the button. That's good enough for me. I'm sticking it all in.
Pass.
Pass.
He's gotten through one. Will he
Pass.
make it by John? He did. And that 300 may have been the biggest pot that Michael has won so far this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is here, you see, John, he can afford to blind away for the next 10 rounds, and it won't hurt him in the slightest. These two, one of them has to double through the other one, or has to find a hand that stands up against John to have a shot at least the runners-up spot tonight.
Yeah, I mean, two men getting chased by a bear, and one stops to put on his sneakers. You know, all I have to do is beat the other guy, not outrun the bear.
Call.
Call.
Clay on the button.
Clay just choosing to call. Back to our chip leader, John Shaw. He's in the small blind. Obviously, it's only going to cost him 100 to call.
Raise 600. Raise to 600.
He sensed weakness from Clay, and every time Clay has limped in from the button, John has raised regardless of the cards.
Oh, and look at the hand Michael's found in the big blind. Now, the problem he's got here is the bet size that John has made
Pass.
is he cannot possibly pass if he moves in. And he correctly has laid down what was probably the best hand there.
It was the best hand, but John is a shark. He's smelling blood. Peter Schmidt contributing to the laws of erosion as these blinds go round and this button moves. It's just whittling away at the two short stacks.
All in.
All in.
Michael's been really strong from that button position, Simon.
Pass.
Yeah,
Pass.
different styles of play here. I mean, we had Clay who
Call.
passed many
Call.
pictures. Oh, and look at this. John's found his favourite hand, Queen 5 suited.
So Michael moved all in. John called.
John has called. It's a weaker hand. Michael is a
Michael
2-1
has got,
favorite, but on the other hand,
1175
Simon, he is risking
chips.
getting knocked out in third.
Imagine how excited Clay is here.
Let's see the cards.
He's only got 1,000
Michael
chips left, and he
showed
could end
King
up
6,
with a chance.
and John called with Queen
This
5
is
of
the
spades.
double-edged sword. Michael taking a drink
And
for the
flop
time
comes
ahead, and he hit it.
King 10. So 3 kings for
Not
Michael.
yet.
Turn card is a 9.
Oh, no.
So
Still a jack.
Straight
would
draw.
Not be good for Michael. The last card is a 10, and the full house wins for Michael.
Cowboys full. And Michael Clark from Aylesbury hailing back to the pride of Texas, lassoing that hand.
Button has to move.
And that double through will not only give him the confidence to try and outlast Clay, but it might start to make him feel like taking on the big guy.
No.
You talk about pressure. These guys are
Pass.
under tremendous amounts. Next guy out gets nothing. There's 50,000 pounds at the end of the rainbow here.
Raise. 1,000. Raise to
John
1,000.
just seems like he's out on a Sunday drive. He's a raising machine.
Oh, well, Michael's got a real hand here. Does he want to take John on? Can't possibly think of calling. It's pass or all in. Strategically, with Clay on your left with only 700, really the right play here is to pass.
It's a head scratcher.
And he's made
Pass.
exactly the right decision. Well done, Michael. That shows a level of experience there. He knew that if he pushed in for another 1,400, there's no way John's passing. He's put 1,000 in the pot. He also knows that Clay is down to 700, and he'd much rather that one of them took Clay out and then play the game heads up. Well played, Michael.
And remember, for more information on the next series, go to www.channel4.com/poker.
Clay is taking the big blind on the very next hand. any two cards, you must push in with the 350, and he's done it
All
good.
in with 350.
350.
Well,